Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Josh Does Coding. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at enumerators or enums and how we can use them. So, if we come to our content browser, you can right click, you can come to blueprints, and you can create an enumeration, also referred to as an enum for short. I'll call this enum underscore fruit, and you'll see why in just a second. If we open up this enum, we can give it a description. So, an enum containing all fruit types. And of course, adding a description is optional. So at the top here, you can click Add Enumerator, and you will get basically an option in this enumerator. So we'll call this apple. We'll call a second one grape, and we'll call a third one watermelon. So let's say you have a game with a base fruit class, and then you have 3 child fruit classes. Let's say you want to know which fruit you're working with without needing to do casting or is A's, because those are much more expensive than just getting a variable. You can use an enumerator. So let's give an example of this. I will create a blueprints. I'll create an actor, and I'll just call this BP underscore fruit. Now, I'm only going to use one here as an example. But what we can do is we can create a variable, and I'll call this fruit type. And then you can change this from a Boolean to an enum fruit. And I'll also set this to instance editable just because I will be using that as a demonstration. So now imagine you create a child of this fruit class that is a grape. Well, you can then set this on that child class to be a grape. Or if you create a watermelon, you can set this to be watermelon. Or if you create an apple, you can set it to be an apple. Now again, I'm not going to go through the hassle of creating a bunch of child classes, but that is how inheritance works. You will get this value and you can set this per child. So, what can we actually do with this enum now? Well, I'll just use the character as an example for this. So, let's say on begin play, I want my character to react to this fruit for whatever reason, right? He's going to say a voice line, oh, an apple, oh, a watermelon, oh, a grape, whatever it might be, right? What we can do is we can get a reference to that fruit. So let's say we'll get a reference to BP underscore fruit. And I'll just rename this guy to fruit because we don't need that little one anymore. So from fruit, we can now get the fruit type. Now there's 2 ways that you will be using enums for the most part. You can first check this equal in brackets enum, not the regular equal. You want to use this special enum equals. And you can check, well, is this fruit an apple? Is this fruit a grape? Is this group a watermelon? And if so, you can add a branch, right? And then if it's an apple, do something. That's a very simple way. But now let's say you want your character to react to each fruit, but it's going to react to each fruit in a different way. So back to the example of him saying, oh, look, a watermelon. Oh, look, a grape. Oh, look, an apple. Well, how can we do this? What you can do is from fruit type, you can drag out and search for switch on enum fruit. And of course, if you have a different enum, it'll be switch on and then your enum. Now you can see we get an output for our apple, for our grape, and for our watermelon. And this is good because this means you don't have to do, is this a apple? If true, do this. If false, check if it's a grape. If false, check if it's a watermelon. This is a much cleaner way of doing that so you don't get a whole string of branches. So for example here, if it's an apple, I will do a print string and we'll print apple. If it is a grape, we will print string and do grape. And if it is a watermelon, we'll do a print string and we'll say watermelon. So now if we drag a fruit into our scene and we drag a character into the scene, I'm just, you know, setting the reference by hand here. Of course, in a real game, you could be getting a reference through a trace, through a collision, however you have a reference to this. Just for example, I will do this. So when we simulate, you'll see we get apple because this fruit is currently a apple. If we make it a grape, well, we now get grape. If we make it a watermelon, we now get watermelon. So that is the basics of using an enum. If you have any questions, feel free to ask down in the comments below. If this video did help you out, be sure to like and subscribe. And with that said, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and good luck with your games.